This video is brought to you by Squarespace. Welcome back, everyone. In this video, we are going to look at some viewer work, and I want to start with a project that I had a small involvement in, and this is from a friend of mine. This is Father Samuel Issa, who is an incredible photographer. He also happens to be a Syrian Orthodox priest monk. He sent me a book, gosh, I guess it was about 2019 or so, and he was shooting color at the time. It was a book called Rome, and I shared it in the Mail Time videos. And after that, we followed each other on Instagram, and over the last couple of years, we've become friends, and he called me up not too long ago and wanted to know if I would consult a little bit on this. And so we did a FaceTime call, and I really had very little to contribute. It's an incredible book. He wanted my opinion on layout and some things. And I'll tell you a little bit about that after we get through this, but I want to share some of this with you. He doesn't have a note in here, but I want to read some of the intro that will explain the book. And so the intro reads, Preface. In my book, Halsen, a term that translates literally as halting place in Swedish, which might also be interpreted as bus stop, my objective has been to reveal the hidden intricacies of landscape, much as a cartographer meticulously maps essential features instead of merely capturing a visually pleasing image. I felt compelled to use photography to share stories and reveal meaningful narrative within these images. Photography captures fleeting moments, weaving stories that resonate with our shared human experience. I regard a photo series as hidden poetry waiting to come alive. Each image is like a verse in a poem, converging through the interplay of light, composition, and emotions. As I work through these images, using them like words in poetry, I uncover how blending them forms new connections of layers and stories. Placing images side by side isn't just about arranging them, it's inviting everyone to see things in a new way. In the end, it is when all these photos come together in a series that the real beauty is truly captured, forming a framework that tells stories in a new light. Father Samuel Issa, Sweden, 2023. So, Father Samuel, I've already given you my opinion on this book. I think it is absolutely outstanding. I love the William Eggleston influence. I love your work in black and white. This has a very different feel than the previous stuff that he sent me before, and that was a few years back. I'll tell you a funny story about this. So, Father Samuel and I had never really spoken in person before until we had this FaceTime call. And he was in his office, and it's very cool what he's doing right now. He's working with youth, teaching photography. And he's involving elements of spirituality and photography and all this stuff. And he's fascinating to talk to. He's one of my favorite people. And what was really cool is he was showing me his office, and it's a pretty tight office. He has an entire darkroom in there. And all of the images that you see here were prints that he made that he ended up putting them in this book. And I think it's so beautifully made. I love the cloth cover. It's very simple. It's very elegant. I'm going to put a link to this in the show description. I believe he does have copies of this available. So if you guys want it, please support Father Samuel. He is one of my favorite people. I'm glad that we become friends. It just happened through the show. He's way into photography and was watching my videos and decided to share his work, and that's how we met. And so it's really cool. So I'm very proud of you, Father Samuel. Thank you for sharing. You guys check him out. He is quite cool. All right, so next up is this book that comes to us from Johanna Siegman. I hope I'm saying your name right. This is called In Good Company, Notable People with Their Pets. Johanna also includes a note which reads, Hi Ted, I have really enjoyed watching your reviews of books over the past several months. I never thought I'd have something for you to check out, but here we are. This is a collection of what I call portraits of love between people and their pets. Much more than simply representational portraits, they are also relationship portraits portraying the many ways in which these companions express their love for each other. I have photographed over 20 different species so far, and 5 of them are in this book. The notables are from a wide range of fields, from showbiz to science, sports, and the arts, and they illustrate that no matter how high we climb on the ladder of success, we are all still mush in the presence of our pets. Some are exuberant, others are quite contemplative. There is always joy and often humor. In these highly politicized and divisive times, it is my hope that these images will inspire people to reconnect with their heart as they travel through their daily lives. I hope you enjoy them. A portion of the profits on book sales will go to Apex Protection Project, which is dedicated to advocating for and saving wolves. Warmly, Johanna. Okay, so Johanna, a couple things I want to talk about on this. So first of all, I absolutely love the concept. I think it is dynamite. I think that it's incredible that you've gotten access to so many people in here that are notable. And I love the range of relationships that you see with people, not only in the species of pets that they have, but also in the way that they interact. And I think you've captured that. You've got a nice range to what it is that you do. Their portraits, it's not formal, it's loose, it's fun. It is really really well done, and I absolutely love this. I'm going to make two little nitpicky suggestions here. First of all, and I only say this because I really do love this book, what I would like to see is a second edition of this. And what I mean by that is, first of all, you do indicate that you have even more of these. But I feel like I would love to see you, one, work with a graphic designer. And I don't want you to take this the wrong way, but I think some of the typography in here, there's a lot of drop shadows on images and stuff that you just don't need. I know that stuff looks good on a computer screen, but when you get it to paper, I just don't think it's necessary. The other thing that I would like to see you do is print this on a higher quality of paper. I think it works okay, but I don't think it is the best vehicle for showing off the quality of the work that you've got. You're clearly an excellent photographer, and I think they're really good. That being said, I really do like the book, and this is just really nitpicky stuff, but I would really like to see it just go a little bit of an extra mile, if that makes sense. Anyway, I do recommend this. I think it's wonderful. I think there's some really cool portraits in here. I love the range of people who she's chosen to feature in here. This is outstanding. So I will put a link to this and her work below. So thanks for sharing, Johanna. Okay, so we're going to move from something that's very lighthearted to something that's a little more serious. But this is a very interesting book called Precious Life that comes to us from a gentleman named Jeff Piercy. Jeff also included a note which reads, Ted, I was a photojournalist with a daily newspaper in the 1970s. I drifted away from photography for almost 30 years and took it up again in my late 50s. I always admired the long-term photo projects of Donald Dahl, S.J., and was also inspired to self-assign work. I also began to work with some nonprofit organizations to promote their programs. I co-founded For Good Photography, which is a nonprofit photography group that only works with nonprofit organizations to try to tell their compelling stories. In this capacity, I began to work with the Pan-African Health and Social Services. I have made 4 trips to a small village in the Sierra Leone to help them raise money for a hospital. This booklet is the result of the 4th trip to the village. I was there ostensibly to shoot a series of training videos. As often happens in Africa, that project became impossible and I turned my attention to work that is being done by an Icelandic physician who was volunteering that week. I reverted to my photojournalism roots. I put away my Canon equipment and solely used a Sony RX100-7. It allowed me to shoot more unobtrusively, and it still offered excellent quality in extremely harsh low-light conditions. I hope you enjoy the booklet, Jeff. Jeff, this is outstanding work. I really like what you've done here. This is a more serious topic, and I think you've done an excellent job. Shooting in hospitals is a lot of waiting for stuff to happen, and it's not an easy thing to do. And I love the fact that he's using a Sony point-and-shoot for this because, I mean, the gear doesn't really matter, but it's just something that's pocketable, and it ends up just being so improvisational and loose, and it's a slice of life. This is outstanding. My only comment on this is I want to see more of it, so continue to make these, man. It's important work, and I really like the style that you shoot in and the stuff that you're doing. All right, so I've got a couple more projects I want to share. There's Daphne, which is a wonderful portrait study, and this little zine called Seen By, which is a collection of photographers from the UK. But first, I want to give a shout out to our sponsor today, who are the always awesome folks over at Squarespace. How easy is it to build an amazing website in a matter of minutes? Squarespace has you covered. It's dead simple. Head over to Squarespace, hit Get Started. You can start by selecting from an impressive collection of customizable templates, or you can do what I do, build your own. Something unique because, you're not like other websites. Give your site a name. Next, you can build your homepage. We'll start with a few preset layouts just to get us going. Want to sell products like books or prints? Well, you can feature those on your homepage. Create a few more sections if you want. Let's also give it a color palette. There's a whole bunch to choose from, and just get us started. We can change this all later. Next, let's select the typography choices. Welcome to your website. Everything is set up and it's all ready for you to customize. Squarespace is built on Fluid Engine, the next generation of website design. Select Edit, and Fluid Engine allows you to drag, place, and resize any element on the page. You can snap these to a grid, you can make them float on top of one another, you can freeform however you like. You can even preview and adjust how the site looks on either desktop or mobile. The layouts are independent. Of course, you'll want a portfolio for your work. Creating an image gallery is as easy as dropping a folder of images on your web browser. Once uploaded, you can drag to resort, customize the look, and Squarespace writes all of the code for you. Everything just works and it looks fabulous. Want to sell your own prints, books, or zines? Squarespace has the capabilities to not only set up your online store and collect payments, but they also give you all the tools that you're going to need to be successful. Managing shipping and payment options, manage your orders, and engage with your customers. They even give you the tax tools that you need to keep things organized and stay compliant. You should try Squarespace for yourself. It's absolutely free, no credit card required. Just go to squarespace.com/AOP, sign up for that free trial. If you decide Squarespace is right for you, I can save you an additional 10% on your order by using offer code AOP on checkout. That's right, the code is AOP. So stop procrastinating, go build your website today. And I want to give a special shout out and thanks to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. All right, so next up is this little zine called Seen By, and this is actually a group effort that is a community of photographers that put this together. This was coordinated by Maria Mazza. Maria also sent me a note which reads, "Dear Ted, I have been watching and enjoying your channel for years, and I can't believe that I'm now writing to you to send you a zine that I am so proud of. I realized that I have been searching for a community, and that others might be in the same position, perhaps looking for meaningful outfits for their work. So I decided to create a zine to publish contemporary documentary photography, not just my own. What better way of reaching out and meeting kindred spirits, learning and drawing inspiration from each other? Well, after a successful open call for local to me documentary photographers, I curated and designed the first issue of Seen By. It's 80 pages. It features the work of 16 photographers from the northeast of England. The projects here represent a large variety of content and styles, and I feel they do our region proud. We're going to try and organize an exhibition of this work, and hopefully this will be the beginning of a strong photographic collective which will allow us to grow as photographers. Future issues of the zine may be monographs or collected theme ones. I'm keeping an open mind as to how it can evolve, but I really like to encourage everyone who is passionate about documentary photography, wherever they are, to get in touch and perhaps submit projects for future publication. I'd like Seen By to be a platform for dedicated documentary photographers who just go out and do the work well because they feel it. Let's all see the incredible work that's being done by people of all levels of expertise, but all with a full heart. I hope you enjoy the zine, and if you could give me a shout out, that would be incredibly appreciated. Thanks for everything and all the best, Maria." Maria, Seen By is outstanding. I really like what you're going for. I like what you're doing. And, I love this because it's just the basis for any project. And I think you have something that you can build on, as you indicated in your letter here. Because, just going through this, there's a lot of different interesting styles and things, and I just kind of want to dig deeper and see more. So I think the idea of monographs, exhibitions, anything you can do to get this rolling. If you guys are interested in what Maria is doing, I will link up to all of her stuff below, and you can also get a copy of Seen By if you so desire. Very well done. So thank you for sharing. All right, so next up is this book, which is called Daphne. This comes to us from Yarnan Paled. I hope I'm saying your name correctly. It's a very interesting book. It's essentially a study of a person. So the book is a portrait in essence. So to give you an idea of what's going on, I am going to read the preface here, which is very interesting. It says, "This book is a journey, a coping, a way to process and contain the pain. Physical and emotional, pain for a loss is often what we become. The capability to stand in front of a camera without makeup and without filters, to reveal what usually is we hide. It is not heroin chic, it is reality that what left. This is life for 2 years. 2 years of losing the strong, resilient body. A body with the infinite ability to do everything time and time again. The pleasure and excitement of the very ability to use the body in so many forms, in so many ways. Expose it proudly or wear any garment without thinking about whether to hide this part or another. A body with infinite ability to do everything more and more. This book is a struggle for both sides. Daphne standing in front of the camera and me standing behind the camera. We are both part of the struggle. Even though Daphne is there, we cannot be separated. It seems I am only taking pictures, observing from the outside, even from a distance, and in fact we are very close everywhere we go. Devour life to love, to excite to be, to hug to get closer, to build and create, to taste, to smell, to feel and live." So Yarnan, I think this is an exceptional book. I think your portrait work is absolutely beautiful. This is obviously a very personal document to you, and I think it's really well done. I want to thank you for sharing it. I know that you didn't share everything in there, but I don't know that much more needs to be said. I like the fact that it's poetic and brief, and like I said, the pictures are really beautiful. So anyway, I want to thank everybody who sent stuff in today. I will link up to Yarnan and everybody else in the show description, so make sure you support your colleagues and all that good stuff. I will see you guys in the next video. Until then, later.